and Pop, that's TJ, Dave, and Timmy C. Pond Water and Amy join the clatter, talking about things that truly do matter. Amy's insight, Pond Water's wit, Drunk and Pop keeps talking that shiznit. Watch-alongs and talks all night, every episode feels just right. We've got the banter, the random flair, inside jokes flying everywhere. From experts' takes to a drunken spill, we'll keep you hooked with every thrill. Wrestling moves and pop culture streams, laughing so hard we're bursting at the seams. Sports and shows, pre-post and watch along. Grab your cup, come groove to our song.
Hello and welcome to Markout Moments preview show for WWE Money in the Bank 2025. What's up, boys?
Living the dream. How's it going this morning? Watching Timmy. I'm going to see how long it takes him to figure out how to unmute his mic.
Yeah, he's muted like a dummy.
Hey, I'm working with all new tech here. Give me a break.
Yeah, you're a Mac guy now.
I
Congratulations.
Well, we'll see. It took me about 30 extra minutes to set it up because apparently if you buy a powered dock and put power to it, the computer will not recognize it. So I sat here and I'm like, why is it not recognizing any of my stuff? I unplug it and it's like, oh, we found all this stuff. So I don't know what's going on.
It's kind of a transition. I became a Mac guy in 2010 when my PC burned up, and I had a Mac, and I never used it much because I didn't want to learn it, and then I was kind of forced to, and I bought a PC a couple weeks ago to play that wrestling game that TJ's wanting us to play, and
Nerds.
And so I bought a cheap PC and I turned it on, and I just don't even. I've been so far removed from using Windows that I'm like.
I have to use Windows every day at work, so I still got but Mac.
Yeah, you just can't figure out how to work your Mac. You've had it for years, and I still know more than you already.
Yeah, I bought it in 2020, and I still don't know shit about it.
Every time we go to record, I don't know how to. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
So right now, if I don't have headphones in, I have no sound from my Mac. I don't know what happened. So I can't even do a show with just no headphones or nothing. And my other headphones aren't working out either. Only my AirPods are working now. I don't get it.
I got a pair. I'll ship you. They're wired.
But today is a big day in wrestling. Not one, but two WWE PLEs. The first being WWE presents Worlds Collide with their new acquisition of AAA Wrestling and NXT. That show is only on YouTube.
Interesting.
I wonder if that could be a play in the future with WWE running more super shows or PLEs or whatever on YouTube. But with that being said,
they're definitely testing the waters.
Everything is happening today in the Los Angeles area. So for Worlds Collide, as of 4 hours ago, there have been 10,218 tickets sold. There are only 739 tickets available for that show. That's going to be massive.
We should go.
Well, if we leave now, we might be able to catch the main event by flying. Now, with that being said, for tonight's Money in the Bank at the Intuit Dome, where they held the first ever Raw on Netflix, there have been 16,242 tickets distributed, 678 available tickets.
They'll probably sell it out.
Insanity. So right there, but between the two, we're looking at roughly 27,000 tickets sold for their two shows tonight. Or today, because I guess we got about 3 hours till opening bell for World Collide.
Now, what is the time between the shows? I guess would be my question, because LA is a hard place to get across. How far apart are the shows?
So they're at what is it? It's World Collide starts at 2 our time. That's noon their time. And I think Money in the Bank starts at 4. So I'm guessing Worlds Collide will be 2.5 hours tops. So there'll be an hour and a half between.
The problem, it definitely won't go over 3.
No.
How close are the venues? Do we know? Because Los Angeles is a little spread out.
Inglewood for Money in the Bank and Inglewood for Worlds Collide. So they must be right beside each other. It's the Kia Forum and then the Intuit Dome. So let's look.
Map it out.
How far between the Kia Forum and Intuit Dome? 1.5 miles apart.
Okay, it's walkable.
Yeah,
not for wrestling fans, but for normal humans, it's
so
walkable.
Venues are within a mile or two of SoFi Stadium. So within that there's 3 stadiums or whatever.
It's like a complex
Right there.
Probably a bunch of bars in between it. We should
So
definitely.
you can leave the Intuit Dome, or you can leave the Kia Forum and walk to the Intuit Dome in time, no problem.
And you will be smelly as hell when you get there.
They're probably going to be smelly as hell anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever been to a wrestling show.
Never. What happens there?
Well, it depends on what company you go to. One company has a lot of ballet and blood. And the other company has,
which is odd because that's not a good combination together.
But let's get it started. We have WWE Money in the Bank tonight on Peacock in the US and I guess Netflix everywhere else in the world. I have to say, guys, I'm kind of disappointed in this, and I say this every time. I hate these PLEs with so few matches. So you have a 3-hour show tonight, and there's going to be a total of 4 matches. And I guarantee you, of the 3 hours, there will be no more than 90 minutes of wrestling.
Correct.
And the other 90 minutes will be packages leading up to the shows and ads and music and whatever. So 4 matches. Coach Keith fell asleep last night.
Hey, Coach, I fell asleep too.
He wasn't the only one.
I slept. I missed the whole finish. I didn't.
I can picture this Zoom and everyone just sitting there going,
I was out more than once. My wife came in to tell me goodnight. My granddaughter, and they had to wake me up to tell me goodnight. And then I fell asleep during the main, and Jimmy kept trying to wake me up when it was over.
So I do have something funny to bring up that happened on Twitter 12 hours ago. Good buddy of mine, RJ Krasinski,
yes,
posted about TNA. First class penthouse needs to be evicted. Hashtag TNA against all odds at Casey Wrestles at AJ Francis 410. AJ Francis then responded, "Your last name sounds like a sneeze."
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this. Y'all probably think that I get to podcast because of Conrad. But if RJ wouldn't have been kind enough to let me go on Ringside Rant with him and Justin and get reps in, I would have never been confident enough to launch a podcast. So
I'm sorry, love RJ. I started on Ringside Rant. So I did a show with Jay-Z Flair when it was the Jay-Z Flair show with Jay-Z and Paulie B. And they invited me on, and RJ liked it and asked me to join Ringside Rant. So I did.
Whoa,
and then
what was he thinking?
Love RJ.
Man, I'm telling you, he's underrated for his contributions.
I tell you what, if you're not listening to Reffing Up, he's doing some big things over there. And
yeah,
yeah,
like I said, he's more of a not so much the front and center Mac guy as much as he is making it all work.
Yeah, and he's doing a lot of hard work, and it's paying off. And I mean, he came from nowhere, and he's now got multiple referees, and he's putting out quality program every week. You should check it out. I mean, it's RJ's a buddy of ours. We love him.
And when he threw me away, he threw away a pretty good referee.
Who's that Paul Bromwell guy? I never heard of him.
Who? Anyway, Topic of the show today, WWE Money in the Bank live at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, or LA. 4 matches on this card tonight. That's pathetic. We're going to start with a rematch from Backlash at WrestleMania. You saw Becky Lynch, the man, return and team with Lyra Valkyria to defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, only to then lose the title back the next day, or I don't remember what night of WrestleMania it was. And then Becky Lynch to turn on Lyra Valkyria and then let us know that she was the one that attacked Bayley. So first and foremost, we have a rematch at Backlash. Lyra Valkyria beat Becky Lynch. I think she's 2-0 against Becky Lynch now because she beat Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship as well. I don't see how Becky Lynch doesn't win this match and start a feud with Bayley.
Put that graphic back up. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. All right. Becky Lynch. I think, you think Becky Lynch and Bayley feuding over the Intercontinental title, they need the Intercontinental title to feud?
It helps bring some, it helps build the Intercontinental title. I mean, you think about it. Back in the 80s and early 90s, the Intercontinental title meant something.
Yeah, and I think Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch are making it mean something right now. So I think Valkyria, however you say her name.
Lyra Valkyria.
I know, I screw it up. That's why I told you,
With that being said, Timmy C, what do you think happens in this match?
I agree. I think Bayley's gonna get involved somehow. Maybe cost Becky, because I think they got something good with Lyra. She seems to really have the crowd behind her right now. So I think they will roll Becky into a feud with Bayley, but I don't see her taking the title.
Maybe Bayley helps. I'm sorry, y'all. My monitor went out.
So with that being said, we'll run through the odds of this match. And the write-up is there's more on the line in this match than the women's Intercontinental title. If Lyra Valkyria wins, Becky Lynch can never challenge for the title again as long as Valkyria is champion.
That's not much of a stipulation.
If Lynch wins, the current champion not only loses her title, but she has to be the one who raises Lynch's arm and declares her a better wrestler than she is. Now, the odds for this match heavily favor Becky Lynch at -400 to Lyra Valkyria +250. I still think
sounds like Becky's gonna win then.
I think Becky Lynch was also the favorite to win at Backlash. So
I think that Bayley's going to cost her. Maybe if Bayley's going to have any involvement with Becky Lynch, maybe she costs Becky this, and that's what that makes them feud. But Lyra continues on as Intercontinental Champion. I don't see that it does Lyra any favors for her to drop the title to Becky Lynch.
Yeah, because you're trying to build her. Becky doesn't.
Well, and they are. I think Lyra has grown leaps and bounds since this feud with Becky Lynch. Her mic work has been tremendous. She kind of seemed just kind of out there, and they put the Intercontinental title on her, and they didn't really know what to do with her. But now it seems like she's moving in the right direction. But I think Becky Lynch wins. So we shall see. Up next, probably what's going to be the main event of the show. Tag team match. World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes versus Undisputed Champion John Cena and Logan Paul. John Cena's last time at Money in the Bank. Tag match. Last night on SmackDown, the Heels stood tall holding both titles. What do you guys see happening?
Well, if that's true, then I'm going to say the baby faces win.
Who eats the pinfall?
Got to be Uso. Or
the baby faces win. How does Uso get?
It's got to be Logan Paul then.
You think Logan Paul? What about you, Pondwater? What's that?
I think Cena's eating the pin.
If the faces win, Cena eats the pin, I think.
Maybe Cody pins Cena to set up the
SummerSlam?
rematch where Cody gets the title back.
Yeah. Either Uso gets pinned by Logan Paul to set up another rematch, or Cena gets pinned by Cody.
We shall see. So here's the write-up.
Or how crazy would it be if Jey Uso got a pinfall over Cena, champion over champion, to set that title versus title affair up?
It could be, because if they're going to Saudi soon, and they could have that big Saudi belt again. They could be setting up Jey Uso versus John Cena in Saudi Arabia. So with that being said,
interesting. I
think they'll keep Cody and Cena apart that long.
I think.
And what do you do with Cody in the meantime? I mean, he's supposed to be their number one player.
Yeah, but you got to keep them apart unless you're ready for him to take the belt back.
Here's the write-up. Neither of WWE's top men's titles will be on the line at Money in the Bank, since both holders will be tied up competing against one another in this tag team match. Cody Rhodes will have world champion Jey Uso by his side, while WWE champion John Cena is teaming with Logan Paul. Cena has had some of his best matches at Money in the Bank, and while there aren't odds on whether this last one will rank among them, him and Paul are the slight favorites to win. John Cena and Logan Paul are favorites at -250. The underdogs come in as Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso at +170. Maybe we should throw $100 on Cody and Uso and try and win $70.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
I mean, you're probably going to put money on the bank.
Money on the bank.
Money in the bank on somebody that the fan. I mean, normally a heel's going to win that. It's better storytelling when the heel's carrying it around. So maybe you send the crowd home happy with Cody and Jay getting their hand raised. So I'm going Cody, Jay, but I do think Cena's eating the pin. Cody over Cena if we're going to predict the pinfall. But if Logan Paul eats the pin, it's lazy booking.
Yeah, I don't think Logan Paul eats the pin. If the faces win, I think Cena goes down.
And they haven't been. I don't think they've been doing a whole lot of lazy booking lately.
Well, hopefully they don't today.
All right, now it's time for the big matches, the ones everybody really look forward to. Although I have to admit, I'm kind of over Money in the Bank.
It's kind of played out.
I'd like to see it go away. It's been too many now. Our women's match. Julia, Stephanie Vakir, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi are in the women's Money in the Bank. I can't see any of the newcomers getting it. I think it's too soon. So I do think Julia and Stephanie Valkyr.
Put that graphic back up for me.
Are the future of this business. Oh, yeah. Roxanne Perez as well. Not happening. I mean, you have to think everything points towards Naomi at this point. I think there would be backlash if Rhea Ripley won it, because she has been so heavily featured for about 2 years now of all women's wrestling. And when it comes to the Women's World Championship, I think she needs a break from the title and she needs to be chasing. I still prefer her as a heel over a face. But, I mean, Naomi's working the program with Jade Cargill. She just ate the pinfall from Jade Cargill at Backlash. There's still going to be something there with Bianca Belair. I still think Bianca Belair is going to be turning sooner rather than later. And I think that'll be good. A heel Bianca Belair and a face Rhea Ripley.
They even asked Jade last night what her relationship with Bianca was. And before she could answer, Charlotte interrupted. So I think it's going to be Roxanne Perez. I think Roxanne Perez is getting...
I'd be okay with that.
Because I mean, she's the epitome of chicken shit heel right now. She's very successful. She reminds me of a female Gino Hernandez. The way that she strikes.
Yeah.
And I see why Booker T's so high on her. Because I used to think it was just a vanity project because she went to his school, but no, I mean, I see it. She's a heel's heel. I'd rather watch my mother suffer for air than see Naomi win this. Naomi carrying that briefcase around does nothing.
She'll put lights on it.
Will it be a glowing briefcase?
Oh God.
See, I think the funner story would be to have Alexa win it.
But Alexa's had it before.
But this is a different Alexa. She's a mom now.
But is she in the white six?
We don't know.
Yeah.
But just kind of the way she just kind of.
But if Alexa's going to
almost
get it,
in the background, I think it would be more fun with her.
Yeah, but I think definitely that Roxanne Perez would be more bang for your buck carrying the title.
Well, here's the right.
But if I was pulled, because I mean, let's think about it. We don't want to see Rhea win it because whoever cashes Money in the Bank in. I mean, if you get a face and they're like, I'm going to cash it in and I'm going to call my shot. I'm not going to surprise you and pick you off. The surprising you picking you off, like you really got to build your champion up, like Tiffany Stratton. They've done things to make her a stronger champion, even though that she did it as the chicken shit cash in. You know, the win over Charlotte, those kind of things are Charlotte and Rhea. I mean, she's established that she's a, you know, she's a good champion. That she's not one and done because she was able to do a quick cash in. But I don't think that baby faces cashing in unless.
When was the last good babyface cash in?
Did Tiffany's cash in make her?
Her cash in made her a babyface, but it was. I mean, the crowd went like the last time I can remember a babyface cashing in and the crowd just absolutely eating it up was Dolph Ziggler over Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
And
because you wanted to see, because you had no,
it was Alberto.
Well, everybody hated Alberto enough that they wanted to see him get screwed. So
I think it would be better if they got rid of the surprise cash in.
Yeah.
And it gives you can pick your shot between now and it can't be WrestleMania. So it would be now and Elimination Chamber or whatever ends up happening before WrestleMania. You have between June and March.
I think it still provides a little drama. Am I going to cash in? Am I not going to cash in? When you show up at ringside, is this it?
Well, I mean, when they do, it is neat when they do the fake cash-ins with like they're getting ready, but they never.
But sometimes you get excited for it, and sometimes it pisses you off because it's messing up something that was really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it cuts both ways. I've heard Triple H is tired of the Money in the Bank concept.
Yeah. I enjoy like the same night cash-ins. Like, I think it would be fun if whoever won Money in the Bank tonight cashes in on Jey Uso because. Fuck does he need that belt for?
He doesn't. You can leave your title. You can leave your title on a baby. I think they did the right thing with Joe Hendry in TNA. They got him the champion. Everybody got that feel good moment, and then the way that he lost it. But you could have kept that belt on Joe Hendry. It's like
who won last night between Trick Williams and Elijah?
Trick. Yeah,
I can't see Trick Williams holding that belt long.
Trick is really good, though.
He is. But I mean,
so good.
TNA wants a TNA wrestler holding that belt.
Yeah, but that's the story.
Yeah.
Is the locker room trying to get the belt off the NXT guy? It's the story. Everybody's telling it.
I enjoyed the Iconics coming back last night too. That was.
I love that. EY beating up fans and couldn't get in the building. And hey, we got to get this belt off of this guy. He's not one of us. And Trick being so good. It just that's a good story. I've been watching a lot of TNA lately, and I'll say this: that everybody wants to talk about WWE's predatory practices against AEW and the competitive booking, and I don't have a problem with it. And Tony Khan's like, this is like a Jim Crockett WWE situation, but it's not going to end the same way. Dude, you need to quit looking at WWE because you ain't never going to catch them. You're not.
Tony Khan needs to just focus on AEW.
But what I'm saying is,
WWE and not even
saying is, you're looking at WWE, and that's good that you're aspiring to be, because they're the tippy top. I'm not a WWE apologist or a fanboy. It is what it is, because they make more money looking at their money. And I realize that AEW,
it's like Dave,
and AEW's goal is not, and I understand it's not a money motivated promotion. It's a quality wrestling promotion through the eyes of Tony Khan. I'm just saying that's what his goal is.
Tony Khan's style of wrestling. It's how Tony Khan sees wrestling.
Good matches. But what I'm saying is if he don't watch out, TNA is going to be the number 2 brand, because what they're doing is phenomenal every freaking week. And when I tell you Santina Marella, if I told you I enjoyed a Robbie E match, has never been spoken out of my mouth before. But by God, Robert Stone and Santino tore the damn house down with that, and had Matt Cardona as the referee, with Tessa Blanchard and Victoria. It's Alicia Fox at ringside, with the outside interference and Cardona being paid off before, but not. I don't know if y'all saw it. Matt Cardona accepted an envelope of cash from Robert Stone before the match, but he didn't cheat for him. I mean, he wasn't ejecting people, but he wasn't letting them like put his foot on the rope, and that caused a little tension between them. It was great storytelling, and it's a fun moment when Santino's out there with his daughter, and she's trying to knock him off the top turnbuckle, but her top keeps falling down, so she has to jump down and pull her top back up, and so she's trying not to have a wardrobe malfunction, and she did it for 3 attempts, but she's constantly having to rein those puppies in.
I think it's a fun story. All these people that used to be in the WWE that are now on TNA, and they're kind of working with WWE, so it's a fun homecoming for them. And like I said, I'm gonna give Tony Khan a little credit. I saw a picture of him. He's learned to tie his shoes now. So, I mean, it only took him till about 36, but he finally got it done.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, he takes a lot of shit, but when I went to the AEW show, he came out for Dynamite and thanked the crowd. And he came out for Rampage and thanked the crowd again. But, I mean, the owner of the company comes out and thanks. And everybody acts like that's a bad thing, that the owner of the company comes out and acknowledges his fans and appreciates their support.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but he's got to learn. You can't have just steak. You have to have some sizzle. He thinks that work rate is only going to draw so many eyes, and it ain't as many eyes as Logan Paul is going to draw.
I get it. But I think his intentions are pure. I think
they are. But here's kind of the way I look at it.
And everybody thinks that, well, Vince would have never done that. And it's not fair to compare him to Vince, because, hey, what?
Well, Vince was shitting on people. Literally.
Yeah, Tony Khan ain't taking a shit on a girl's head.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I kind of, while I loved it back in the day, I was a huge ECW fan. Yeah. And I kind of take AEW as ECW now with money. You look at some of the hardcore stuff, some of the crash, car crash type matches they're having, things like that. You had some great matches in ECW, but I think ECW is one of the reasons why wrestling is what it is today, with no finisher really truly matters because everybody just kicks out of them anyway. That shit started in ECW. And then you had some really good wrestling matches, but way too many false finishes. And then you had the hardcore element added into it. So I kind of look at AEW now as a rich man's ECW. It's what it is. And I think, I don't think
fandom. He 100% books his fandom.
Right. I don't think WWE running a show the same time as AEW does much to AEW. because I think you have WWE fans, you have AEW fans, and then you just have like your common casual wrestling fan. Your common casual wrestling fan isn't spending $60 to watch an AEW pay-per-view. Every one of their pay-per-views are drawing like the same thing. Their weekly shows are getting like the same amount of viewers. So, I expect them to do the same amount of buys, whether WWE was on this weekend or not.
And the same amount of people are going
to, or what is it in July when WWE is doing the Evolution pay-per-view? Like, I don't see that affecting him at all in one way, shape, or form.
People are watching the same. I mean, you may not consume it live, but if you're watching it, you're watching it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's live or not. I mean, I don't always watch Raw when it's on, but I'll try and catch up on it later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But I don't think it's going to affect him. I think he needs to just stay in his own little lane and just keep doing what he's doing. Like we've all said, he's got more money than he could ever lose. So if he wants to go out and pay this, where we'll see is if WWE starts lowballing wrestlers for contracts and really big names jump over.
Yes.
It's something. I'm sorry, but WWE, like Chris Jericho left WWE and went to AEW. He paid
Rumor
Jericho,
is he might be coming back.
I know, but he paid Jericho just buku bucks to go to AEW.
Same with
he needed somebody like Jericho. So that's fine. WWE wasn't going to pay Chris Jericho what Tony Khan was.
No.
John Moxley left WWE and showed up at the first AEW show. And apparently he just re-signed a new 5-year deal. WWE isn't going to pay. Huh?
Moxley loves it there. Yeah. He loves bleeding.
Yeah. But see, WWE wasn't going to pay Moxley.
Let me tell you
what AEW was.
And this may get me some hate for saying it, but if you rely heavily on props in your matches, if you need props and no disqualifications and stuff like that, it's because you either can't work or you're too lazy to work. You'd rather.
I think it might be the latter.
But to me, that's just if you can't impress me in the ropes. I mean, that's just keep it in the ring, tell story.
Well,
but if you got to stab yourself in the back with something to walk around and like, oh, look at him, he's stabbed in the back, but he keeps on going.
Who'd have thought that the order of workers in that faction was going to be Seth, then Roman, then Dean?
Yeah. Well, my good friend Mark Nilsson, God rest his soul, when Dean Ambrose left WWE, he said, and he knew I didn't really care much for him. He said, "Oh, you wait, you're gonna love John Moxley," and I wish he was here all these years later for me to tell him, "No, I really don't.
Not so much."
He's not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
but when he goes in there and actually works a match, and it's not the hardcore with all the props, and he actually does do a wrestling match, he's very good. I mean, I know he can work, but it chooses the cheap pop to.
But until somebody like a Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, I mean, you had Daniel Bryan jumped over. That didn't do anything for him. I mean, Daniel Bryan had the yes movement, but then it kind of died out.
Mid-card.
And then, but I mean, it's going to take a huge star in WWE to leave. And the only way that happens is if WWE starts lowballing these guys.
Well, and WWE's kind of gone away from the model of creating that one big star. They're creating several.
It's a factory.
Yeah.
I mean, you start looking at some of the younger talent. Well, I know he's like 34, but you got Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
I think Bronson Reed's going to be a star. That match he had with Braun Strowman, the Monsters match or whatever, that thing was incredible.
Oh, yeah. And let's don't forget about Braun Breaker.
And then you have Braun Breaker. And then you have, Trick Williams is coming. You have Rusev and you have Aleister Black back. I mean, there's stars everywhere. If they ever decide to do something with Karrion Kross, dude is money.
Well, that's the thing is I think WWE set that mark where they're not going to let, like, Roman may be the last guy they've done this with, where there's that guy that is just head and shoulders above everyone. I think they just want to keep a lot of those big stars at the same level. I mean, bring them up or let them down. Bring them up, let them.
That's a great idea though, because you don't want, like WWE for so long. Everything ran through Hulk Hogan, and then Hulk Hogan left, and business plummeted.
Then what do we do? Yeah,
right.
No, they're building guys. I mean, still very high levels, but they've got 6 of them instead of just that one guy.
But they're looking at the balance. This is balance sheet championship wrestling now.
Yeah,
they're looking at the balance sheet. I heard the report last night that what are they, $3 billion in debt, and I don't know if there's anything to that or not. I can't imagine that they are.
Well, they hold $3 billion worth of debt over, certain things, but like, TKO as an organization,
right?
Like last year, they said like TKO only made like $4 million, but the reason why was you had WWE and you have UFC, but they had to pay a huge settlement to UFC fighters, from the past, and to me, I just think that
WWE is now like Turner. Like TKO is like Turner at WCW in the late 1999 2000. Other than the fact that TKO they're not ashamed that they are in the wrestling business,
right?
But it's corporate championship wrestling. You don't have that one guy just because Triple H loves it, big fat freaking hairy deal, because this is a corporation, and you're gonna. I think that you could say, well, if we don't pay him this, he's going to leave. Let him, because you got these over here.
Yeah,
it's gonna. I think what we're doing. And if there's anything to that report that they want to reorganize, that Roman Reigns is going to take a pay cut to stay. For one, Roman Reigns is probably to the point of his career that he wants
to be a movie star.
He wants to be a movie star. He can be a movie star.
Yeah.
I think he's actually doing a movie with Jason Momoa, Street Fighter or
Twins 2,
Aquaman 4, Aquamans.
But what I'm saying is that I just think that the days of legacy contracts is over. It's what have you done for me lately? And that spreadsheet, they got to balance it out.
Yeah.
And if the competition gets some stars, but who could leave WWE right now for AEW and make AEW a legitimate Monday Night Wars contender? Who's the one person on that roster that could go over and make that kind of impact?
John Cena.
Well, we know he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. But
Roman's not going to work enough for it to matter.
Maybe Cody going back, but I don't see that bridge.
That ain't happening either.
That bridge was set fire.
Is Cody big enough to make that big of an impact over there, though?
It wouldn't be John Cena level. But there's not. I mean,
but I'm thinking,
and the problem is you talk about some of the biggest guys in WWE: John Cena, Roman Reigns.
I mean, you're going to tune in
Logan Paul. They're not going to rest. They're not going to go over there for every week commitment to build it up.
Well, and what's going to happen?
The only other big name that I could think that would really draw eyes to AEW would be Brock Lesnar. But same thing. He's not going to go enough for it to matter. Brock Lesnar's not going over there to be on your show every week.
Yeah, and Tony Khan's got a big enough social conscience that he wouldn't do that. He doesn't bring controversial people in.
So, I mean, that's about it. They've called up and they brought over Hurt Business. Okay.
And they're using them well.
But but even then they're like, oh, Bobby Lashley's the greatest. He's still in a tag team program.
But there's no Hulk Hogan's left is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. And I could see and John Cena's not out of the question because he's part of the DC universe. It's owned by Warner Brothers.
It'll never happen.
I'm saying that if AEW was a big pushing peacemaker.
What about Logan Paul?
But see, he wouldn't be there enough for it to matter. Logan Paul's never going to be
he's
on
there
your
I'm
more
not
than I
talking
thought
about-
he would be.
I mean, you're going to get somebody that's going to make anybody that goes from WWE, they get the initial, we're going to watch to see what they're going to do because, oh my God, they're on there. But what I'm saying about Tony Khan is he's an ECW fan. We know that. We can tell by his booking he's an ECW fan. He's a WCW fan because he likes that live, and there's going to be a surprise. Because you used to watch WCW Nitro every week because what are we going to be surprised with this week? We were programmed to expect a surprise. And that ain't bad, but he's booking his fandom because I guarantee you, if I had his money tomorrow, there'd be a wrestling promotion where it'd be illegal to throw somebody over the top rope.
Nerd.
There wouldn't
And
be
you'd be
pads.
out
There
of
wouldn't be no
business in no
pads
time.
on the floor.
Shitty wrestling.
I mean, it would be wrestling.
We'd do it in a sweatshop.
And everybody would shit, and everybody would shit on my product the way they shit on his.
Yeah, but,
But,
I mean,
we've
everybody that's a wrestling fan has had the thoughts of if I had Tony Khan
I would
money,
do
what
it my
I do?
way. He's doing it his way.
He should hire you as an advisor and maybe meet somewhere in the middle. Because all he's got to do is draw it back some. It's too much. It's Memphis style wrestling.
Has anybody noticed Penta since Penta got to WWE that he's slowed down?
Well, he's 40-something years old.
His matches are better because of it.
They've taught him to slow down and let what he does sink in before he does something else.
Better.
It's just a matter of all you got to do is just what you're doing's good, but mix in a dose of believability into it, and then you got a hook. And what I saw last night with Santino and Robert Stone, it was just a hint of believability that Robert Stone was going to find a way to screw Santino out of this director of authority position. And I loved it at the beginning because during the check-in, when the referee was checking him, that Cardona caught Robert Stone with brass knucks in his trunks and took him away from him, even though he had got the payoff. And then he goes over to Santino to check him, and Santino reaches over in his shirt and pulls out a crowbar and just hands it to him. So, I mean, you can put some silly in there and be entertaining, but it didn't kill the match, man. So
that's the one thing Santino has learned. Santino could work, but he learned through all those, you're using him as a joke. No, like that was the way he made his money, and he's still believable.
And then he got to the point where he reached in and he pulled the Cobra out, and before he could put it on, Tessa Blanchard jumps up on the apron and takes it from him, and she hauls ass out all the way up the top of the ramp, and she shows it a few times and celebrates and leaves with the Cobra. So Santino doesn't have the Cobra. But then it got down to where, Santino was in control, and his daughter reaches in her dress and pulls out the Cobra and gives him a Cobra. He puts it on, does that, Pam, and the crowd. Listen to how I'm describing it.
Which, by the way, is slightly worse than the people's elbow is a finisher.
But that's what I'm saying. It's such a bullshit move. But at one of my favorite episodes of Raw years ago, Santino Marella got a title shot against Triple H. And they worked the match to where you thought, and I watched it with Stephanie and her kids. It was years and years ago. And they were so into it, thinking that Santino Marella was fixing to win the world title from Triple H. But me watching them, that's how you do it, man. That's what makes wrestling great. So we take it a long way around to say that I'm sticking with my prediction that Roxanne Perez is going to win the Money in the Bank. And what she's going to do week to week with that briefcase is going to be gold.
So here we go. Here's the write-up. There isn't a superstar in the women's match who bookies have so little faith in that they've given better odds to an unnamed nobody who isn't even in the match. It's bad news for the recent NXT call-ups. Julia and Stephanie Vakir have the worst odds of the 6 confirmed competitors. The wrestler in the match with the most WWE experience, Naomi, is the heavy favorite. Bad news for Jade Cargill, but considering how good Naomi's heel work has been, giving her the Money in the Bank contract would make a lot of sense. Your odds, Naomi, -300. Rhea Ripley plus 300. Roxanne Perez plus 600. Alexa Bliss, who nobody has talked about, plus 800. Stephanie Vacure plus 800 and Julia plus 900.
So if I bet $100 on Roxanne Perez to win, how much would I win?
So if you bet $100 on Roxanne Perez to win, you win $600.
Total of 700. You get your 100 stake back.
Yeah.
But you can only bet on it in Britain because they don't do
Right.
wrestling betting in America.
All right. For the biggest match of the night, the men's Money in the Bank. LA Knight, Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, Seth freaking Rollins, and El Grande Americano. Wow. I think not having CM Punk in this really hurts. I get it, what they're doing with El Grande Americano. I like it. I'm not one of those people crying about it. I think it's funny. I think they finally given Chad Gable something to work with.
I think that El Grande Americano should have got the title shot today.
Well, he does have the title shot today at Worlds Collide. Well, Chad Gable does.
Yeah, but El Grande Americano is not there. He's in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, they probably should have been, but I don't think they want him to lose yet.
Which, by the way, you're going to work that and then go work on Money in
What
the
does Chad
Bank
Gable
ladder
have to do with El Grande Americano?
Yeah, well, considering they're one and the same. Well, Stephanie Vacour's working that.
That's
today,
a nasty. Why are you spreading that shit on this show?
Kayfabe, brother, kayfabe.
Did you see the El Grande Americano was wearing Chad Gable's boots, and Chad Gable goes, "Yeah, the airline lost his boots, so luckily I was able to let him borrow mine."
Oh, I thought the CG stood for Chelsea Green.
I'd like to see her win Money in the Bank.
I think we
CM
all
Punk
know
is in the King of the Ring
Andrade is
tournament.
not winning. Penta's not winning.
Solo's lazy. Solo's lazy. Solo is a lazy. I think that's the laziest booking if Solo gets the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I think Seth wins it.
I think Seth wins it too. The writing's on the wall. Here's the write-up for the match. Calling a match with this many people is a tall order. But BetUS has a heavy favorite for the men's match, and that favorite is Seth Rollins. Rollins' Money in the Bank cash-in is so famous that he remains synonymous with the gimmick more than a decade later.
This is true.
The next favorite to win the men's ladder match after Rollins is LA Knight, who I'm sure you agree could do special things with that contract. I'd like to see LA Knight win.
Yeah.
At the other end of the scale is Andrade, who has the worse odds than the unlisted any other. That's got to sting. So for our match, the odds are Seth Rollins minus 400.
Heavy favorite.
LA Knight plus 400. Penta plus 600. It's El Grande Americano. They have El Americano Grande. Plus 800. Solo Sikoa plus 1,000. Followed by Andrade at plus 1,500.
Could the Money in the Bank briefcase take Andrade to the next level?
It could.
Man, I'd like to see.
The problem with Andrade is he's a much better heel.
And a good heel with a briefcase.
When he was a heel with Selena Vega in NXT, he was awesome.
Yep.
He worked as a heel when he came over to AEW. It was much better. Andrade as a face does not work.
No.
He needs to
But
be
I
heel.
wonder if you set up something, if you're going to leave the title on Uso, if you set up something with Uso and maybe Roman comes back and his brother against the three.
He's in the match, so I don't think they're burying him, because I often wonder if your superstar has a marital dispute or a breakup with one of your mega stars, does that bury you? He's in the match, so he still must have some value, and I know he's a Triple H guy.
Yeah. The only way Seth Rollins doesn't win this match is if Roman returns tonight and makes it so Seth Rollins doesn't win this match.
Who's the best story with the briefcase? That's what and will they do what the best story is? I mean, sure, you could get Solo and cashing it in on Jimmy, I mean, on Jay.
I mean, I think LA Knight with the briefcase
is it
would
time
be
for an
great.
LA Knight heel turn?
LA Knight as a face gunning for John Cena. Imagine the promos those two could have.
I don't hate it.
Just LA Knight taunting Cena that he has the briefcase and he's going to make sure Cena doesn't retire with the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see him telling that story, though.
I don't either.
LA
I mean, it's a great story, but I don't see him.
Dude, I'm going with a wild prediction. It's going to be Andrade. We're going to build a career here. I think Andrade being in there is.
I'm sure Andrade, knowing that you think he hasn't had a career yet, probably.
No, he has, but I mean that he's so start and stop is what I'm saying.
I would love it if Andrade turned heel and won. Would love it. But then he's got to go after. I mean, he's got to move to Raw.
I mean,
technically, you can go after the title.
I think Seth Rollins with the briefcase. But does Seth need the briefcase? With this new
Has he
faction?
ever needed it? Once he cashed in at WrestleMania,
it just feels
31,
it don't feel like a fit, man. I know he's synonymous with that briefcase, but it doesn't feel like a fit with you got Paul Heyman with his current faction. That briefcase just don't seem like it.
No,
I just want to see.
Perfect
I
for
want
Paul
to see
Heyman to tote around.
I want to see one of the faces about to climb the ladder to grab the briefcase.
Yeah,
and Braun Breaker to come out and spear the ladder.
You know, now that y'all make good points, I do think that we're probably going to go Seth Rollins. I'm pulling for Andrade. I fear that they're going to put it on Solo, and I like Solo. I just don't want. I don't think that's good. I'd love for El Grande Americana to get it.
Oh my God,
that would be fun.
The Twitter would explode, and it would
oh
be
God,
great.
that would be so great. And you never know where he's going to cash in. He could go tease the AAA champion. He could go tease. If Chad Gable becomes the AAA champion today, how cool would it be if El Grande Americana started acting like he was going to cash in on Chad Gable?
All right, well, there you have it.
Let's talk about that, though. Is El Grande America? I mean, is Chad Gable going to win the AAA title today?
No, dude just won it last weekend. Vikingo just won it.
He won
Maybe
it.
El Grande
he won it to
Americana
defend it against Chad Gable.
Puts Gable over.
We'll see. I mean, I think if anybody were going to win it, it would be El Grande Americano, not Chad Gable. But now they're saying that JBL's going to be there. Could JBL be there to help Chad Gable?
Man, I've got a show today. I can't watch all this. I'm going to be on a pretty good show myself tonight. Bayou Independent Wrestling presents.
Don't forget, you need to talk to them. We want to stream it on our
This
YouTube
town's
right
not
here at
big
Markout
enough.
Moments.
And
Huh?
the name of the show is This Town's Not Big Enough, and that's truer words never been spoken. Steve Anthony defending against Steve Anthony dog collar match against Rob Love. Steve Anthony created Southern Royalty a few years ago, went away, came back. They didn't welcome him back, and now he's after over 2 years of trying to dismantle this faction, he's finally getting his hands on their leader, Rob Love. And if he wins, Southern Royalty's no more. But if he loses, he's got to be Rob Love's bitch.
So, Timmy, I brought up to Dave that he needs to talk to these guys where he does these shows to let us stream it on our YouTube. While you, me, and TJ do play-by-play and announcers.
I have to figure out how that works. Remote play-by-play.
I'm sure we could figure it out.
We just maybe
not Dave, but
we stream it to stream. It'd have to be in StreamYard
or SteamYard.
Like the three of y'all would be in the small windows, and the action would be on the screen. And then
we don't even have to be on the screen. We can remove ourselves
and just broadcast from the background. Yeah.
And then we could put ourselves on the screen during, when there's no match on or something, and
we can make it work. I'll talk to the promoter today.
I mean, we'll start promoting the shows, and
it would probably
if people
it would probably be good for July 19th in West Monroe, because having a town with good internet is essential.
There aren't many of those in Mississippi.
No.
So that's how we got to figure out how they can stream it or get it to us live, so we can.
Well, we
even if there's a delay, nobody's going to know.
No, I mean it'd be simple because Samuel Whittington that stream he records the shows on his iPad anyway, so he could just log into. We send him a StreamYard link. He's on, and he's already broadcasting it from his iPad. Because we call it, I joke and call it, instead of the hard cam, I tell the wrestlers, there's the hard iPad.
The hard iPad. I like it.
Well, this is something we need to sit down and talk about.
We can make it work. I'll talk to the promoter today and see if we could sponsor him and broadcast. And if maybe not broadcast the whole show, just broadcast the main event.
And broadcast whatever they let us. I mean, we'll figure it out. So, all right, we'll talk about it offline. But that's it for today for the WWE Money in the Bank preview show here on Mark Out Moments from Two Shows, One Cup.
Exclusive.
Right here.
Oh, well,
also,
I don't even know how to close that.
Make sure you follow us on social media. Tell your friends about us. We're trying to do as much and give you guys as much content as humanly possible while we also have day jobs. And TJ has jobs all over the time. He's forever.
I'd like to have a show of all the excuses we have for not doing shows.
I mean, considering what we go through to put shows out, I think we're doing a damn good job.
We were going to do something the other night, and my grandson was coming over, and I hadn't seen him. I mean, we're really missing our grandkids since school's out. We don't see them as much. And me and Dave were going to do something, and I texted, "Hey, Dave, I can't make it tonight." And I didn't even bother. Stephanie goes, "You going to tell them why?" I said, "No, fuck them. I ain't telling them nothing."
I don't care. I didn't care. You go, "I can't do it tonight." I go, "Okay." I was already at the pool drinking anyway.
I don't even want to type out. I don't even want to type out the excuse. It's a good excuse, but I'm just like, screw it.
I was already at the pool drinking anyway. So
the fact that we got this on before noon today, I'm so impressed, because I was like 9:30, and Timmy's like, "I got to set up my new rig."
So I went back to damn farmer's market.
So I went back to sleep.
Luckily, I'm a tech genius, so.
All of a sudden, the bed got to feeling good to me, so I slipped back down, went to sleep, and I heard the text goes off, and he goes, "I got the studio ready," and I'm like, "Well, I'll put on a shirt. I'm on my way."
And what I tell you, no shirt needed.
No shirt.
Right? All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Peace.